Hello children, welcome to the class once again. Today let us start new lesson number 5, the snake and the mirror. Let us start the lesson. Before you read, do you like to look at yourself in the mirror? What do you think about at such times? Have you ever seen a dog, a cat, or a bird look into a mirror? What do you think it sees? So, have you seen yourself in the mirror, or a dog or cat, a bird looking into mirror or itself? So, what do you see? What do you think? Now, read this humorous story about a doctor, a snake, and a mirror. So, let us read the lesson. Has a snake ever coiled itself around any part of your body? A full-blooded cobra? All of us fell silent. The question came from the homeopath. The topic came up when we were discussing snakes. We listened attentively as the doctor continued with his tale. Have you ever experienced that a snake coiled in your hand or leg or any part of your body? Think of it and how you feel. Same thing, the homeopath in doctor thing experienced. So he is saying about his experience with the cobra. Let us see what is the experience of this homeopathic doctor. It was a hot summer night, about 10 o'clock. I had my meal at the restaurant and returned to my room. I heard a noise from above as I opened the door. The sound was a familiar one. One could say that the rats and I shared the room. I took out my box of matches and lighted the kerosene lamp on the table. Even in our homes, when we come in from outside, you may hear a lot of noise of different creatures of the sound of lizard or some insects and so on. Here, the homeopathy doctor opens his room and hears the sound of a rat. So there may be some rats in his room, and he heard the sound of it, and he lights the lamp and sees what is there. The house was not electrified. It was a small rented room. I had just set up medical practice and my earnings were meager. Meager means very small in quantity. I had about 60 rupees in my suitcase, along with some shirts and dhotis. I also possessed one solitary black coat which I was then wearing. So the room was not electrified. Electrified means there was no light because it was a rented room, and he had just started that clinic something, and he had very less money since he is starting newly and no money, so there is no electricity. So he was managing with a kerosene lamp. I took off my black coat, white shirt, and not so white vest and hung them up. I opened the two windows in the room. It was an outer room with one wall facing the open yard. It had a tilted roof with long supporting gables that rested on the beam over the wall. There was no ceiling. So, this is the house, a room where this homeopathy doctor was staying. So, gable means upper part of the wall below a sloping roof. There was a regular traffic of rats to and from the beam. I made my bed and pulled it close to the wall. I lay down, but I could not sleep. I got up and went out to the veranda. for little air, but the wind god seemed to have taken time off. So, since there is no light in the room, it was very sweating. So he went out to enjoy some air, but then that time there was no air. It was still warm outside also. I went back into the room and sat down on the chair. I opened the box beneath the table and took out a book, the Materia Medica. I opened it at the table on which stood the lamp and a large mirror. A small comb lay beside the mirror. So outside also no air. So he went in and sat on the chair and opened the box and took the book, since he is a doctor, homeopathy doctor, to read. And there was a stand, and he brought the lamp closer to him, and there was also a large mirror and a comb there beside the mirror to comb the hair. One feels tempted to look into a mirror when it is near one. I took a look. In those days, I was a great admirer of beauty, and I believed in making myself look handsome. I was unmarried and I was a doctor. I felt I had to make myself presence felt. I picked up the comb and ran it through my hair and adjusted the parting so that it looked straight and neat. Again, I heard that sound from above. So he was a bachelor and also doctor. And whenever we see a mirror, we used to look into the mirror and make some arrangement, make some makeup, or comb the hair. Same way, this doctor also wanted to do. So he took the comb and run through his hair and adjusted the parting and did something. Still, there was a noise from above. He heard. I took a close look at my face in the mirror. I made an important decision. I would shave daily and grow a thin mustache to look more handsome. I was, after all, a bachelor and a doctor. I looked into the mirror and smiled. It was an attractive smile. I made another earth shaking decision. I would always keep that attractive smile on my face to look more handsome. I was, after all, a bachelor and a doctor too on top of it. Again came that noise from above. Again he looked into the mirror and looked at his face, and he said he is very handsome, and he said that he would shave daily and keep a small mustache to look more attractive. Also, when he smiles, it looks very handsome and beautiful. So he decided to keep that smile always on his face. Still, there was a noise again he heard. I got up, paced up and down the room. Then another lovely thought struck me. I would get married to a woman doctor who had plenty of money and a good medical practice. She had to be fat for a valid reason. If I made some silly mistake, I need to run away. She should not be able to run after me and catch me. Now, after combing hair and finding himself handsome, he also decides to marry. Also, he has one choice that the bride should be fatter than him, and he gives the reason why. If he makes any mistake, if the bride, that is his wife, runs after him to beat him and should not catch him. So he wanted to have a wife who is very fat. With such thoughts in my mind, I resumed my seat in the chair in front of the table. There were no more sounds from above. Suddenly, there came a dull thud as if a rubber tube had fallen to the ground. Surely nothing worry about. Even so, I thought I would turn around and take a look. No sooner had I turned than a fat snake wriggled over the back of the chair and landed on my shoulder. The snake's landing on me and my turning were simultaneous. So, since there was no noise from above, and he was little bit relaxed, but suddenly something fell on his shoulder, and it was coiled like coiled rope like, and when it turned around, the snake landed on his shoulder. I didn't jump, I didn't tremble, I didn't cry out. There was no time to do any such thing. The snake slithered along my shoulder and coiled around my left arm above the elbow. The hood was spread out and its head was hardly 3 or 4 inches from my face. Now, while hearing the story of this doctor, we all have the same feeling. See, if a snake falls on us, how we feel. And since to listen to the story, we feel so much thing, much more about, and the person experiences the same thing. And here the experience of the doctor is much more, is lively experiencing the touch of the snake, and also in his body, and it rolled around his elbow, and it is getting twisted. It would not be correct to say merely that I sat there holding my breath. I was turned to stone, but my mind was very active. The door opened into darkness. The room was surrounded by darkness. In the light of the lamp, I sat there like a stone image in the flesh. So, and the snake fell on him, and he has become, he freezed, sitting like a stone. If he makes any movement, so the snake might beat him. Thinking like that, he stayed still like a stone. I felt then the great presence of the creator of this world and this universe. God was there. Suppose I said something and he did not like it, I tried in my imagination to write in bright letters outside my little heart the words, "Oh God." There was some pain in my left arm. It was as if a thick leaden rod, no, a rod made of molten fire, was slowly put powerfully crushing my arm. The arm was beginning to be drained all my strength. What could I do? Now he is thinking about God, the Creator, thinking that God would save him. And as he was praying like that, the snake started to crush his hands, and the doctor feels the pain. So he feels the pain in his left arm, and it's like a leaden rod, and it's also like a molten fire. So tight, the snake is tightening his hand. At my slightest movement, the snake would strike me. Death lurked 4 inches away. Suppose it struck, what was the medicine I had to take? There were no medicines in the room. I was but a poor, foolish, and stupid doctor. I forgot my danger and smiled feebly at myself. So he was a doctor, and he was thinking about the medicine if the snake bit him. But then there was no stock of the medicine, because he was a stupid, foolish doctor. He is telling himself and making a smile. It seemed as if God appreciated that. The snake turned its head. It looked into the mirror and saw its reflection. I do not claim that it was the first snake that had ever looked into a mirror, but it was certain that the snake was looking into the mirror. So what it admiring was it admiring its own beauty? So now, as he prayed to God that to save him, suddenly the snake saw its image on the mirror, and the snake is trying to look into the mirror, and the doctor is saying whether the snake is admiring its own beauty. Was it trying to make an important decision about growing a mustache or using eyeshadow and mascara or wearing a vermilion spot on its forehead? So a lot of questions are going in the doctor's mind about this snake. This is the image of the snake that is looking into the mirror. I did not know anything for certain. What sex was the snake? Was it male or female? I will never know. For the snake unwound itself from my arm and slowly slithered into my lap. From there it crept onto the table and moved towards the mirror. Perhaps it wanted to enjoy its reflection at closer quarters. I was no mere image cut in granite. I was suddenly a man of flesh and blood. Still holding my breath, I got up from the chair. I quietly went out through the door into the veranda. From there, I leaped into the yard and ran for all I was worth. Now, slowly, the snake is getting down to look into the mirror of its image. See, slowly slithered into the lap and moved to the table. And where the doctor was still and holding his breath, and he was like a granite stone. And but after the snake went to the table and he was freed, and then he felt that he was a person, and quietly he went through the door out to the veranda. From there he ran for all I was worth, ran fast to save himself. Phew! Each of us heaved a sigh of relief. Somehow asked doctor, "Is your wife very fat?" No, the doctor said. God willed the otherwise. My life companion is a thin, reedy person with the gift of a sprinter. Someone else asked, Doctor, when you ran, did the snake follow you? So, when he was running for his life, other people started to question him, make fun of him, that whether he had a fat wife, and he replied, no, that my life companion is like a thin, reedy person. So he is saying about the snake. The doctor replied, I ran and ran till I reached a friend's house. Immediately I smeared oil all over myself and took a bath. I changed into fresh clothes. The next morning, at about 8:30, I took my friend and one or two others to my room to move my things from there. But we found we had little to carry. Some thief had removed most of my things. The room had been cleaned out, but not really. The thief had left behind one thing as a final insult. What was that? I asked. So the next morning, the doctor went back to his room with his friends to clear all the things, his belongings, to bring to other place. But then everything was stolen by a thief except one thing. What was that? His friends asked. The doctor said, my vest, the dirty one. The fellow had such a sense of cleanliness. The rascal could have taken it and used it after washing it with soap and water. So what the thief left was one coat which was very dirty, saying that person, the thief might have been a person of sense of cleanliness. And he says he may have taken that and washed, and afterwards you can wear it. Did you see the snake the next day, doctor? Doctor laughed I have never seen it since. It was snake which was taken with its own beauty. So the next day they went to the room, but then the doctor said that he did not see the snake once again, saying, I had never seen it once since it was a snake which was taken with its own beauty. That is, taken with means attracted by. So with this our lesson gets over. So this was written by Vaiko Muhammad Bashir, and it was a Malayalam, translated from the Malayalam by V. Abdullah. So with this our lesson gets over. Here we have few question answers. Thinking about the text, you can just see the questions and write the answers. Here also you have think about language. So many questions are there. Go through it and write the answers in your notebook. Till here you have to write till work here. Okay children, write the answers in a notebook and learn. We will see the next, rather the poem in the next session. Thank you.